Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV. Just wanted to show these mustard greens here. These were planted last fall, and as you see, it is still cool out. We're still in the latter part of March, but the mustard greens are looking fabulous, and they taste fabulous. They go great mixed with other greens, or you can simply put them in a pot of soup. I like to put them in tomato soup, different types of vegetable soup, even chicken soup or something like that. They taste fabulous. You just chop them up really fine, and voila. Now the thing about certain types of greens is they love the cooler weather. This is why they look so pretty, and you don't see any holes from bugs eating on them, you see, because they love the cooler weather. When it gets really hot out, you have to be careful, because that's when certain bugs like to chow down too. So it's very important that you plant your greens at the right time of year. The same goes for lettuce. You can grow lettuce in warmer weather too, and greens as well, if you have an area that you can have shade, where they can get shade. As long as they have enough hours of sunlight, they should be fine. But for the most part, if you can give them a shaded area, you can grow certain varieties of greens and lettuce as well. But yes, of course, I'll be trimming off some of these. I love mustard greens. You can mix them with turnip, collard, kale, whatever. As a matter of fact, I do have some kale over here too that we planted in the fall. And so, as you see, here they are. Some of the other greens are starting to seed up. That's there, but you can still pick the leaves off of them. These are just some seeds we planted just to occupy this space. We took up the corn stalks, and then I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and put some green seeds down. And they've been doing their thing over the winter months, and as you see, this is what we have in the spring. And of course, we are probably going to go ahead and get these out of here really soon, so that we can make way. Well, I'm not going to say really soon. I'm going to say in the next, I'd say about the next 30 to 40 days, so that we can make way for corn. With corn, you definitely want to make sure it is warm enough. So this is going to be an area that we plant corn. This is the front garden. Most of our planting is in the back, and so, well, should I say this is the side garden. Okay, but those mustard greens look really, really pretty. Here we have some more of our cool weather greens that we planted, and they are starting to come up pretty good. We have turnips in that area, and then we have some rhubarb here, Swiss chard, and then we have some spinach here, Over here we have cabbage, and again, this is late March, so we got off to an early start. I wish we had gotten started earlier, at least with the cabbage and things, because they like the cooler weather. Okay, then we have broccoli planted here. I do see some weeds trying to come up. We have some more spinach in this area, rutabagas, and some red Russian kale. We have various kinds of kale. There are some over there as well. 3 different varieties of kale over yonder. And then we have the red Russian kale here. Now, if you notice, we are using cinder blocks. We're still wood chipping, but what we're going to do once the plants are mature to a certain level, we are going to surround our plants that are in the beds with the cinder blocks. I'm sorry, not the cinder blocks, with the wood chips inside of the cinder blocks. Now, if you notice here, okay, he's popped out, so let me put him back down in there. What we've done here, in the ends, we decided to fill those with soil as well and utilize the space, the ends of the cinder block. Notice those. We planted onions in each of these. Okay. Now, over there where we planted the kale, we actually have carrots in those. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do is go around and make sure, as it rains, the water compacts down. So you see some of them start to pop up a little. And you want to keep that covered. So what I'm going to have to do is go around and make sure that the heads of these onions are covered. Okay. Now over here, we haven't planted anything in these end caps yet, but we are going to plant marigolds as well in some of these. The children wanted to get some pretty flowers planted, so some of them we're going to plant marigolds. Then we're going to plant some more carrots perhaps before the season gets too far gone, and probably some more onions, perhaps some garlic. We have garlic and onions growing in containers as well. Okay, now what you see here is lettuce. We have a couple of different kinds of lettuce here. This is a lettuce blend right there. Okay, then you have this lettuce here. We're going to be planting other lettuces as well before the season gets too far gone. Now over there where you see nothing, that's actually something. We have ginger roots planted in that area. And in this area we have turmeric roots. Okay, they haven't started to come up yet. It takes a while. Of course, we'll have to de-weed in between. Now this whole section here where you see all of these little heads popping up, this is an area where we planted garlic. So we have lots of garlic planted here. Okay. Now we mentioned that in one of our broadcasts that we're going to be giving away some seed vaults to a couple of our viewers. I'm going to say 3. One young lady already contacted us regarding a project that she's working on with the women's shelter, and if she sees this video, I've sent you an email. I would like to get your address so that we can go ahead and send that to you. But we have a couple of 2 more that we'd like to give away to some of our viewers. I'm trying to figure out how to do the giveaway as far as getting them to 2 of our viewers. The seed vaults that we have, they have more than 22,000 seeds in the pack, various varieties. I believe there's over 20 or 30 varieties of seeds, and there's even a how-to guide that gives some great instruction on gardening. And so if you're new to this is a great starter kit that we would suggest. Now, just to explain a little bit of what we have going on here. We also did some maintenance on our greenhouse. As a matter of fact, not maintenance, but we totally redid it. The greenhouse we had before was almost half that size, and it was just a hoop style. And we just recycled some materials there. We used some pallet racks, and we used the hoops from our previous greenhouse. And some old wood that we bought. A guy was salvaging the wood. He gave it to us at a really great price. So we combined the pallet racks, the old wood, and the old hoops, and voila, that is the greenhouse. And we also got some salvage storm windows. I believe they were like $12 each, and we put 2 on each side and 1 on the back. And then we also had a guy give us some free windows, or should I say glass, to, I'll take you around in a minute. As a matter of fact, I'll do that and then come back to this part. It's a big bullfrog we hear over there. I'm going to be using this box to plant something in, believe it or not. I'm trying some of everything this year. But this glass, these two glass panels here, these were given to us free. They were very heavy. The guy just said, he said, they're yours. If you just come and get them, they're really heavy, so make the best of it. So, of course, we had a hard time getting them because the guy himself was older. And so he and my husband, they made do. They got it on the trailer. And my son and our son-in-law actually carried them to where you see them now. And my husband installed them. But these are double panel, really heavy glass inserts that we put on the greenhouse to give it that extra light that it needs. And so this is a greenhouse made of a lot of recycled materials. A lot of recycled materials. Again, glass that was donated to us, wood scraps that we had around the yard, and then wood that we got at a salvage place, repurposed used wood. The pallet racks were great. We got those at a really good price. And then the hoops that you see on top, we got those from our previous greenhouse and just reused them. And then you have these right here, the storm windows. So what these allow us to do is when it gets really, really hot, we can let this down, let that down. And we did it to where we can let it down from the inside because of the shelving there, and allow breeze to flow through the greenhouse while still keeping the screen. Of course, we have a few screen pieces to repair, but for the most part, it will allow air circulation because you don't want your plants to get too hot to where they just suffocate. Okay, so now we're just kind of redoing things a bit around here, and getting things going for the spring. We still have some organizing to do. The trees are starting to bloom. I'll be so happy. Well, we're in spring right now, but only a few days in. But I will be very, very happy once everything starts to turn green again. It looks totally different when everything turns green again. But for the most part, here we are. And we have some potatoes planted as well. We're trying something new again this year. We have some grow bags, which I'll show you what those look like. We haven't put anything in these yet, but I do have a few over yonder that I have put potatoes inside of. So I have potatoes inside of the grow bags here. Then I have a whole bed, one of these Cinderblock beds over yonder. I'm not going to walk over there just yet because I have to walk through too much. But that whole bed is filled with potatoes. And we also use some of our old swimming pools from years ago that we used raised beds too. We put potatoes in those. But what I wanted to do was explain this here. This right here is a cattle panel in which they can be used for so many different things. Okay, this particular idea that we have here, in which we have some of these throughout the yard here, what we want to do is we want to grow beans, and we want to grow asparagus beans, various kinds of beans, green beans and asparagus beans, and other things that like to climb. You can even put tomatoes, grapes. You can also use these for cucumbers, cantaloupe, just things of that nature. But what we're going to be doing right here, you allow your beans to climb, and they have something to climb on and hang on. So this is going to be covered in leaves and whatever it is you decide to plant here. And they can just climb up, and you can just kind of feed them through the grids here. You see, this gives them some great support, and it gives them something to hang on to while allowing you to save space, because a lot of times if you just let them grow on the ground, they just kind of cover the ground. But see, now I can have greens planted here, and I'll use the ends of these cinder blocks here, once I remove these, to plant the seeds for the beans. And once the beans start to grow, they can grow up the cattle panel here. And so you're able to utilize the end spaces of these here. Now the ones on the inside, because they're on the inside, I won't be able to use them for climbing. Only the ones on the outside here will be used for climbing. But these on the inside can be used for something else, like perhaps more carrots or more flowers or more onions or more garlic, whatever you choose that could utilize those small spaces, or even more lettuce, you see. But these are greens, 3 different kinds of greens here. On this end we have the turnips, then we have the rhubarb or Swiss chard, and then we have the spinach at the end. Now these empty beds, we don't have anything in them as of yet, because what we do have is inside the greenhouse. I'm just going to walk inside the greenhouse real quick just to show the progress of some of the things that we got started inside of the greenhouse. Okay, like I said in an earlier video, those are going to go outside. But what I did want to show, like we have here, that is okra. Some of the things haven't sprouted enough to really show. They were just put in days ago. Okay, here we have some more mustard greens here that have sprouted pretty well. That's okra. I'm sorry, not okra, green beans. As you see, some of them have popped way up, and some of them are just starting to pop through. These are used pods that we keep when something doesn't germinate. We still keep these trays. You see, we will still keep the trays because the pods can still be used. Over here we have some cucumbers, and we see the beets. The Detroit red beets are starting to come in pretty good. We still need some more time, of course. And we have some more lettuce here. Okay, these are fairly new, so you have to give them some time. Also inside here we have these beds that we haven't done anything to yet as far as planting, because a lot of the things that are inside the greenhouse that are heat tolerant, such as the green beans, they could utilize these beds, and then we'll probably put some tomatoes in as well. Okay, now I did an earlier video on these where I was showing their progress, and they've grown a whole lot more since then. Okay, and we kind of counted out the pods that did not have anything to germinate. As you see, some of them have actually germinated. They filled in. I did say that sometimes they may not come up as fast as others, but you give them time and they will come through. I still see some that are empty, but that's okay. This is a great germination rate. To have 70 pods and the majority of them did sprout is great. Now, these still have a little more time to where they can just stay where they are. They can stay put. I'd say maybe next week sometime, or after next week, we'll be able to put some more of these out. For now, they could just stay put. Not a big rush at this stage. Just leave them where they are. But you see this right here. This is the pak choy, okay? And this right here are the Brussels sprouts. And then we have more spinach here, okay? And then we have a couple of varieties of tomatoes here, which we're gonna get a whole lot more tomatoes planted here soon. We're just trying to get some things going, okay? We have these we just put in a few days ago, so there's not a whole lot of activity here, although the basil is starting to come through. Some of them take longer time than the others to sprout. Okay, just giving this quick garden update. This right here we put out here today, okay? These were put out here today. All 3 of these trays have the same thing. I'm trying something different that I saw another video blogger do. where they fill the tray with all this good rich material, and they just sprinkle the seeds in the tray, and they're going to transplant. So they weren't in pods, it's just sprinkled in the tray, and I'll be able to just one by one, as they sprout, take them out. Okay, here's some more pak choi in this tray, and sweet peppers in that tray. Okay, so again, we hope to do a giveaway soon. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this, because we certainly want to make sure we're sending the seeds to someone who is serious about gardening. We want to do it as quickly as possible because we are still early in the season, especially if you're in zones 4 or 5. Okay, you still have plenty of time to get started. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be from zone 5 or 4 or 5 to be a part of the giveaway. I'm just specifying that you have a lot more cooler weather that will allow you to plant certain things. So that is it for now. Okay, we have some radish there. Okay, and this right here is more green beans, but they haven't sprouted yet. What you see right there are weeds, but these right here are green beans. Like I said, some of them sprout faster. You see how some are taller, and some are not as tall, but they're coming through. You can see they are coming through. There's some more. Okay, that lawnmower is kind of loud. I wasn't expecting that, so I'm going to go ahead and close out this video. I just wanted to encourage those of you who are looking to get into gardening to take that leap. It is a necessity, not a hobby. It is becoming a necessity. And one more thing here. I told y'all about that asparagus that came back from last year. Well, we ate them. It was delicious. And I see another tip coming up right there. Okay. Alrighty, family. I am going to close this video out now. And with that, I will say shalom.